Meta AI is the personal AI that's tailored to you, now with its very own app. It's built to get to know you, offering helpful answers and inspiration. Looking for something to add to your bucket list? Meta AI goes beyond traveling the world. It remembers you're a basketball fanatic and suggests you attend one of the playoff games. Just start typing or speaking to get the answers you need, wherever and whenever, because Meta AI is your personal AI. Download the Meta AI app, now available on the Apple App Store and Google Play.
The following is a Red Apple Podcast Network presentation.
They say this is a big rich town. I just come from the poet's part. Bright light, city life, I gotta make it.
Welcome to Dominic Carter's podcast. This is Dominic Carter City Hall. Now, here's Dominic Carter.
No respect for the law. Hello, friends. A wild and despicable video over jumping the turnstile shows a 16-year-old teen punching and fighting with an NYPD officer. Plus, former New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio seeing the handwriting on the wall that his days of being elected to anything are over. Finito. Done. Now de Blasio says he may serve in another capacity. But let's start with the White House. President Biden rebounding from COVID. But the reaction his wife got over the weekend in Connecticut, therein lies the problem. Americans, even Democrats, have soured on Biden. The First Lady tried to do what I often advocate, turn a negative into a positive, as protesters awaited her.
Your husband's the worst president we've ever had. You owe us gas money. You owe us gas money. You owe us gas money.
Remember, I have been telling you this for months. There is nothing Biden can do to turn around the 2024 presidential race in his favor. I don't even think he's running. Should Biden indeed run, can you say Jimmy Carter? Carter, who, the 39th president of the United States, served one term and one term only from 1977 to 1981, Ronald Reagan defeated Carter in a landslide victory. Seems like Bill de Blasio, the former mayor of New York City, with all of his progressive ideas, finally got the memo that no one likes him, that he drove the city of New York into the ground, especially on the crime front, and his days of being elected are done, a thing of the past. Now de Blasio has run out of options. Let's see. I'll run for president. No, that didn't work. I'll run for governor of New York. No, that didn't work. Well, third time's the charm. I'll run for Congress. No, that didn't work either. So now de Blasio says he may work for a nonprofit after his humbling congressional race dropout. De Blasio appeared on WPIX-TV.
I think some of the things I did just didn't make sense to people and left them feeling, off about things. And of course, I'm proud of, a lot of good things too, pre-K and 3K and getting people vaccinated, keeping schools open during COVID. But I could tell folks just were looking for something different. And that's humbling, when it's kind of the recognition this is not your time. And but healthy also because I think it was time for me to step away from electoral politics. I'm glad I tried. I had really good experiences out in my neighborhood and all the neighborhoods of this district. I'm glad I got to connect with people, hear their stories, but it was time to go. And so, sometimes it's always humbling, but it's also healthy to recognize time to turn the page and do some other kind of public service. There's lots of ways to help make this world better.
But in classic de Blasio style, here comes the double talk. On WPIX-TV, he was asked about his debt And that old little thing where the city's Department of Investigation says he owes nearly $320,000. Translation, that de Blasio needs to reimburse city taxpayers for his use of an NYPD security detail during his failed presidential campaign, crisscrossing the country.
Every debt I've ever had in my life, personal and political, I've paid. Some of that stuff has to be resolved through an appeal process. We have pursued an appeal. That's going to go forward. When that's all resolved, we'll deal with the results of that. But I really have a very clear history. I've been around a while, and I've paid every single legitimate debt I ever had.
Bottom line, Bill de Blasio says he wants to serve.
I want to serve. I'll explore, nonprofits. I'll explore being involved in any way where I can promote some of the things we did here in New York City. I agree, pre-K, 3K, consensus, good things. In fact, Joe Biden put them in Build Back Better, and unfortunately that didn't prevail. I want to fight for that for sure. But what is the next exact step? I got to figure that out. But I want to say thank you to people, really, Henry. People are great. I've been in public life in the city for over 20 years.
Talk about despicable. This is what progressive politics have led to.
This episode is brought to you by LinkedIn. Psst, healthcare pros, word's out, and it's too good to keep quiet. Look, LinkedIn is revolutionizing job hunting, making it possible to search by specialty, shift preference, and salary. Endless scrolling is out. Whether it's a mental health therapist or dental hygienist, finding the perfect role is faster and easier than ever. Head to linkedin.com/healthcare and start your search today.
The man accused of attacking New York GOP gubernatorial candidate Lee Zeldin during a recent campaign rally reportedly told investigators he had been drinking and didn't know who the congressman was. Authorities say as the man was arrested on a federal assault charge after walking out of the courtroom within hours when he was arrested and facing local charges for the same thing. So the feds had to step in. The 43-year-old suspect made an initial court appearance before a federal judge on a single count of assaulting a member of Congress with a dangerous weapon. The charge carries a potential maximum penalty of 10 years in prison. For his part, Lee Zeldin appeared on Fox News, and he is correct. This cashless bail system in New York State is in need of major overhaul. How about this? Get rid of it altogether. This is Lee Zeldin on Fox News.
Now, advocates for cashless bail, as you point out, would say that if someone gets charged with a low-level offense and they have no prior record, there's no flight risk, they aren't a danger, and the only reason why they would have to stay behind bars is because they can't afford the smallest amount of cash bail, that particular scenario is one that we all can have a conversation about. Give judges discretion. But as we saw, I remember this time last year, I was in the Bronx where you had multiple synagogues being vandalized. And we were standing on the streets on a Thursday saying the problem isn't that the person who's causing these vandalism with these anti-Semitic attacks, it's not that they feel like they'll never get caught. It's that they know that when they do get caught, that they wouldn't be released due to cashless bail. And sure enough, over that weekend, the person was caught and immediately released. Cashless bail needs to be overhauled. And this argument that you use for that one person with a low-level offense and no record shouldn't be resulting in that bad businessman, bad drug dealer, bad criminal who gets busted with $1.2 million worth of crystal meth and can't afford bail. That's on them.
Lee Zeldin on Fox News. So what about the wild and despicable video showing a teen punching and fighting with an NYPD cop? The 16-year-old was confronted after allegedly jumping a turnstile in Manhattan. The teenager, who has previously been arrested for possession of a loaded gun and robbery, was released from jail the next day. The teen, who cops initially did not publicly identify because of his age, jumped the turnstile at the 125th Street Lexington Avenue station in East Harlem just before 6 p.m. Police say a 16-year-old girl who was with him ducked under the turnstile. According to authorities, the boy became verbally aggressive for over 3 minutes with the officers before they attempted to arrest him. In the video, the boy begins to punch the cop in the face, and the officer returns the blows. The teen girl can be seen entering the fray to throw a couple of punches at the officer before a female cop pulls her away and the girl sparred with the female officer. This is incredible. And I now close with this. A fellow lefty New York lawmaker, Jessica Ramos, is blasting AOC as absent and out of touch. The progressive state lawmaker from Queens took a shot at Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez for being absent and out of touch, accusing the left-wing icon of blowing off a meeting. Senator Jessica Ramos, whose district overlaps with AOC's congressional district and who has been an ally, unloaded on the Congresswoman after a medical student complained about AOC bluntly canceling a health care forum. Stay tuned. Folks, if you are interested in my book on my life growing up in New York City and overcoming numerous obstacles, or my bobblehead doll, you can go to my website, DominicCarterOnline.com, all one word, DominicCarterOnline.com. You can catch me on 77 WABC weeknights, midnight to 1 a.m. Go check out the Dominic Carter merchandise at the 77 WABC store, from Dominic Carter t-shirts to hats and much more. Go to WABCRadiostore.com. Dominic Carter, Red Apple Podcasts, 77 WABC.
I gotta make it.
Dominic Carter Socials on Twitter at Dominic TV and Facebook and Instagram. Dominic Carter TV. Email at dominic.carter@wabcradio.com. Until the next episode, be well. And as Dominic always says, stay positive. The glass is always half full, never half empty. Dominic Carter City Hall.
Ever get the feeling you're being watched online? It's data brokers. They collect your personal info, your browsing habits, where you live, and who you're related to, and then sell it to the highest bidder. Aura helps stop that. Aura automatically removes your personal info from data broker sites and keeps it off. It also monitors the dark web, protects your devices, alerts you to real-time threats, and more. Start your free trial at aura.com/listen. That's AURA.com/listen for your free trial.